No, you're keeping it real.
Yeah.
You sound amazing, by the way.
So real that no one's going to pitch me now.
DJ, thank you so much for meeting with me today to talk a little bit about the publishing and PR profession.
Happy to do it.
Excellent, excellent. With the changes in technology and human behavior, we wanted to actually turn the tables and interview you to figure out how do we best serve you. We PR professionals are constantly pitching, so
Right.
we really want to hear firsthand what we can do to better serve.
How to get to me.
Well, that too. I mean, that's all,
Yes.
Be clear. First and foremost, you have been with Connecticut Cottages and Gardens for how long?
15 years. I launched it. So I've been here from the very beginning of this magazine, but the company had two other magazines before Connecticut. The first magazine we had was Hampton's Cottages and Gardens, and then the second one was Palm Beach Cottages and Gardens, and then we came out to Connecticut. And then, we've gone on and added more books. Some books stopped being relevant for us. So, it's constantly evolving.
Okay, so speaking of evolution, the print category has experienced some challenges, let's say, over the past few years. So how are you guys an amazing, thriving print publication?
I think there's a lot of redundancy that happens in publishing, and I think when we go through these phases, the weaker ones who don't have a clear identity of who they are, really, they can't survive. We're lean and mean. We service areas that are well-versed in sophisticated design. And they like our magazine because if you think about it, if you see a house that you've driven by every day and you get to see it in the pages of the magazine, it means a lot more than if you're living in Florida seeing a house in Chicago. I'm not saying that you don't love it, but there's an engagement level that happens with our magazines that I don't see happening with the nationals.
Gosh, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times. I mean, just loving design in the whole category. But yes, I want to look in that house.
And suddenly you're like, oh, I'm in that house. Oh, my God.
Okay, so speaking about what gets into the magazine, is it like TMZ and you're like, yes, and that story's out? What?
I've been doing this since 1979, okay? So at this point, I typically know, even if they're lousy scouting shots, I can tell whether it's worth it or it's not. And we have a very simple process. A designer or an architect either calls me or emails me, hey, I have a great project, here's a brief summary of what it is, and here's some snaps. That's all I need. I don't need 5 pages of what you did, and I hate when I get pictures without any description, and they come separately, because then I don't have time to go back and put it together. Honestly, maybe I'm lazy, I don't know, but I get 600 emails a day.
Oh, geez.
So I don't have a lot of time to go back and forth and have 5 emails about the same topic.
You've talked about designers and architects. What about PR people? What's the best way to get a pitch to you? What vehicle, if you will?
Right.
Email?
I love email, and I'm on email 99% of my day. And in terms of PR pitches, I like an email. I like it to be short, sweet, to the point, and I like it when it's actually packaged as an idea. So, for example, let's say the color of the year is peacock green, and you have 5 companies, and there's something about peacock that runs through all of them. That's the kind of stuff that I'll sit there and read. But if I have to go through a long intro that says nothing, and less PR companies know how to write a pitch. It is shocking, because I will go through 5 paragraphs and I still don't know what I'm being pitched, and that makes me nuts. I don't have that kind of patience.
Exactly.
I really sound horrible.
No, you're keeping it real.
Yeah.
You sound amazing, by the way.
So real that no one's going to pitch me now. Yikes.
No, so talking about the pitch, you said you prefer email, which is great. So what about an actual news release? Do you want a news release with like a pre-pitch? Do you want no news release at all? And like you said, sort of the who, what, when, where, why, right there in the email?
It depends on what type of company. For example, any kitchen, bath, or building products, they're all kind of seasonal. And so I kind of know that introductions are coming out, and I like that because we have a section on what's new. So sometimes it's helpful to get those seasonally, like as we're going into the spring, we want outdoor furniture stuff, and so people start pitching, moving outdoors. So yes, I like that. And then the fabric and wallpaper guys do it too. So it makes sense. But in general, if you're pitching, let's say, a person or a service, it's got to be who, what, where, when, and why. And it has to be in the first 2 paragraphs because I'm lost.
You're not going deeper.
No,
yeah,
no.
You either get me then or
right.
You're out.
Yeah.
What's a good time for a PR professional to, talk about a trend, pitch you a trend, a new product, outdoor furniture, whatever the case might be?
We have a funny lead time. We're 6 weeks before publication date is when we're working on it. So we're almost like a newspaper. Yes, I'll sometimes look at something far out, but it's typically closer to my publication date. So that's really my timing is like 6 weeks before the month.
Okay. And then what about a home project?
Right.
Interior design. I mean, is that more timeless?
That's timeless.
Yeah, okay.
Unless, they're on an island and they're in front of the water. I do all of my photography for the year from June to September for the next year because I need good weather.
Right.
And what happens in Connecticut is my readers don't want to see a snowflake after December in any pictures. So I learned that the first year. I was like, okay, no snow on the trees, no snow on the land. So exterior shots are out. So just so everyone knows that I'm planning voraciously from June to September for the following year.
Looking forward, what trends do you see sort of on the horizon?
I've just been working on a trends piece from the kitchen and bath industry, so I can talk about that. And, it's interesting what's happening in those 2 spaces and in our homes is that smart home is coming in like a bear. But here's my problem with that is that when I speak to kitchen showrooms or kitchen suppliers or designers, they say that their clients want all that stuff, but the minute they can't boil water on their new stove, they're out. And so they've all had to start giving tutorials to their clients because of that gap in wanting it and then knowing how to use it. It's like the first time you get an iPhone, you're like, what do I do? And you need a millennial saying, no, come here. Or you need to go to one of those classes. The younger kids get it. It's just I'm saying the older generations, and they're the ones who have the money to install these incredible systems into their house, don't always know how to use it. They want it and they love it, but it's kind of like there's a gap.
Do you see a tipping point? Because I know now it's like literally you can look ahead and go, okay, I'm going to walk in my house and the oven's going to pop on, all the perfect lighting's going to come on, the television or whatever the case might be.
Right.
I mean, is there a tipping point to that? Will we just never have to touch another light switch or wall oven again?
Yeah, which I think is kind of weird because it reminds me of when I was a kid and all those sci-fi shows showed pictures of that, and it was so, it's cold. It's cold. We're tactile people, and I think there is a point where it doesn't work. I think if it makes your life easier, I get it. Yeah, the light should go on when I enter the house.
So, what, we want to get a little more fun here.
Okay.
What is the most creative pitch you've ever received? Or even something that just, you were like, oh, I probably would have never covered that, but the angle, something different.
Sometimes it doesn't come in as a pitch. It's like you meet someone and they just happen to tell you something. My associate editor was on a house tour and there was a stop at one of the local restaurants, and she went and there was this incredible vertical wall of greenery, and she asked a PR person at the hotel, and she said, oh, this is so and so, so you should meet her. And so a month later, Mary met Renee, and then it evolved into me going up and shooting her farm, and she blew me away. She creates live pantries for all the top chefs in New York. Oh. And she's a single 27-year-old mama, and she's out there with raising pigs, sheep. She does all the lettuces, and so we photographed it for a story because I love the fact that she had this vision. And her passion was quiet, but I felt it immediately, and I was so excited.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so it's things like that that turn me on, things that I don't expect, and it usually comes via a person, not once or twice I've gotten it. But I have to say, yeah, I don't think I've gotten that, like, wild, memorable pitch. Sorry.
So it...
Sorry.
So ultimately, what I'm hearing, the underlying theme is story. There has to be a good story.
Either you tell a story or you're done. You got nothing. I mean, we're both storytellers. The editors are storytellers, but you're the ones pitching the initial story, and then we run with it. And I like that synergy, and that's an important synergy for any PR company to have with the press, because then you rely on each other, and then as a press person, I'm open to the next idea that you guys have. And it's that great synergy that makes it all happen, and then it cements a relationship and partnership.
So once again, less of the selfish pitch and more of the begin to at least craft the story for you so you can see.
And it be like made for my magazine. There's nothing worse than somebody pitching me something that's for mass market. I was like, have you even opened my magazine? It's insulting.
Yeah.
And I get annoyed because it's like, why would you pitch this to me?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
So that's probably maybe
that's
one
a big
of your pet peeves.
That's a pet peeve. And the other thing is, I want contact names on every piece that you send me, because if you embed a document in an email, I'll print out the document, sometimes forget to print out the email. And then I'm like, oh my God, who sent me this? And I have to go back through all my emails, and because I get 600, even though I put them in files, it takes me too long and I get frustrated.
Yes, so keep it packaged, keep that information together.
Simple. It's like, assume I'm the dumbest person on the earth, which sometimes I can be. But, you know, make it so simple that I can't fail in getting your client out there.
Right. So, email. You definitely, email's a great way. What about
Instagram, I love.
Instagram, okay, excellent.
I've gotten actually some interesting projects and products via Instagram. That something, you know, I follow a lot of people in the industry, so sometimes I'll be like, oh, what's this? And then I get engaged with that.
Okay, so again.
But but you have to manage the story that your clients put up there. So there's a lot of junk on all of these social platforms that, you know, it has to be well edited. It has to be a great story, even on Instagram.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about social media. Once again, everybody's like, print is dead, although you and I have a conversation.
I don't think so,
there's something tactile and lovely about it still.
And I also think that we're the best storytellers, because you take your client's product, you package it, and then you send me the package. I look at the package, I unwrap the package, and I put the package in a setting. And that's the whole system.
Okay, I just loved what you said. That just told an entire story about
good.
how we as PR people
Right.
can better serve you.
Right.
That was beautiful.
Oh, good.
So social media, what's sort of the downside? So obviously Prince thrived.
Speed. And I also feel like it's like speed dating. I don't know, you get hot on one site and then you get turned off. Because it's like quick hits. Like I love to run through Instagram. I spend an hour and a half every day on Instagram at lunch. I sit there and I go through and I'm looking and I'm trolling. But sometimes there's not enough information and I get stuck or I get bored. So I think that it's the speed in which it happens, and it's also, you don't go deep. So for me to think about how to use something, it excites me, but it doesn't get me to actually use it. It piques my interest.
Right.
And then the onus is on me to follow up. So I'm like, how much time do I have to do that? So that's the downfall for me.
Okay. And so I know Instagram, you get stories and
Right.
ideas and whatever. What about Twitter? Do you utilize
I used to do Twitter, but I see that more as a corporate thing. I don't see it. I was introduced to Instagram by Tony Barata, who's a very famous interior designer and is a good friend. We were out at some function, and he's on his phone. I was like, Tony, what are you doing? He goes, Instagram. Oh my God, it's great. And I was like, really? And then he decided he was spending way too much time. He stopped, and I was then hooked.
Oh my
I was like, thank you, Tony. But for anyone who's in the visual arts, Instagram is our candy, because we're looking at images, and it either piques our interest or it doesn't. But it's like watching a long silent movie, you know, and you're looking and you're looking and then you stop. You're like, oh my God.
Right.
And that's, I think most editors respond to Instagram because that's our DNA. It's all visual storytelling.
Right.
So
What about video and the use of video?
we're doing a lot more video on our digital platforms, just because we're able to tell a story through our lens, and we offer it to a lot of advertisers, and they've been very happy with how it's editorialized, and I think the consumer loves that. Again, it's visual storytelling.
Yes.
I think that is where we are now, is that people just, the eyes take in so much more information than the ears do.
Right. So what about from a pitching perspective? Sending, let's say,
Oh, I love
information
videos.
via video.
Oh my God, I love that.
Okay.
But it has to be short.
Yes.
Otherwise, I need popcorn.
Note to self. Keep it short and send you popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
What about a phone call?
Oh, I love a phone call. But I love a phone call if it's someone who really thought about what they're pitching me. I don't like, hi, I'm calling. I just wanted to make sure you got my press release. I'm like, really? No.
Bring something of value.
Yeah, because I think my generation still uses the phone. I still call up people because sometimes I need that connection, especially if I have a relationship with them.
Now we're going to have a little fun.
Uh-oh, I'm scared.
Yeah, we're going to get to know you a little
Oh,
better.
jeez.
All right. No, super simple.
Okay.
This or that.
All right.
So, mountain or beach?
It depends on the season. Sorry, I'm a skier and a
knows
swimmer.
What she likes, so
Yeah. So it, you know, if I'm on a tropical island, yeah, the beach. But I'm more of a pool swimmer because I'm afraid of sharks. And I swear to God, they're all off 10 feet from the shore. And this summer, you know, we had a scare up in Cape Cod. There were a lot of sharks not that far off. So I was the generation that went to see Jaws. So I hear that music. And I get out of the water.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Cats or dogs?
Oh, dogs, cats, oh my God, no, that
Smart
litter
to get
box
along.
thing, not into that, okay?
Bullet points or paragraphs?
Bullet points. Yeah.
Text or a phone call?
Depends who's calling. If it's you, I'll take the, love the call. If it's someone I've never known and they're going to go into this tirade, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Text me. Yeah.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, black.
Oh, God, I wish I could drink black coffee. Surf or turf?
Surf. Which is, my family hates me for that because my husband's a really good griller. And I'm like, no.
So,
Yeah, okay. I know.
who knew? Okay, morning bird or night owl?
Oh, morning. I love the morning. I seize the day. I get up, I do meditation, I do stretches, or I go to a spin class, or I walk. Love the morning because this is when I really plan out my day and I'm like, yeah, I can handle anything. And then the first phone call could change that in a second.
You have control
Yeah,
still
I know.
before it oh, goodness. Okay, so what's your guilty pleasure?
I have a lot, and I hate to admit it. Let's see. I love Netflix. So there are a couple series that I just found a new series that I like. I couldn't stop. I was addicted, and it was so good.
What's one you've binge watched?
That was recently, what was the movie that Whitney Houston was in with The Bodyguard, but it's a British.
Wait, what?
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, it blew me away. I was chewing my nails. I was like, oh my God, you have to watch it. The Bodyguard, and it takes place in England. It is so good.
Oh my goodness. Okay, done. It's on my list. Okay, now last question.
Yeah.
And literally the most important question of all.
You know I'm Irish, so make it good.
I think I might know the answer. Whiskey, wine, or water?
My husband would say whiskey. I sometimes say water, but wine is always appropriate.
That is why we get along so well.
Oh,
Cheers.
cheers, and it's the morning.